Into it. What's going on, guys? Alexander, what are you doing? Get from under there. Leave that alone. God dog, man. I made a mistake last night. Before I passed out, I drink lemon water before I go to sleep, right? I mean lime water, just no coconut, just a little bit of water, about 2, 3, or 4 ounces, with about a teaspoon of lime. Keeps with the, like, I guess the electrolyte or whatever. Excuse for it's pretty bright out there, but even though there's a mist from that smoke, and so I had it on my table there because I took all the vitamins and everything and took them downstairs because I figured out what I wanted to take for the day, and then tomorrow I don't take none. So I have them sitting right here, my vitamins. And so when I was wiping the table down, I had my little Route 66 that I got when I was out there with Westside and all those guys and Trauma and them, Rondo, in Arcadia. And this one stands up and leans over because cats like lime, but it is toxic. It will shut their system down, organs, it will kill them. And he's sitting there when I come from out the bathroom in my Route 66. So you know me, I got the old karate shoe. I don't want to hurt him. The chakra, the kung fu shoe, Tai Chi one. Whip! Right over the top of his head. And he took off like a bat. So I had to chase him down, grab his big butt up, and I had to take a charcoal pill, bust it in my fingers, and shove it down his throat. Literally let him bite me. No marks. Because it will bind with the lime before it gets to his gut, which will create the problems. Me being with the ASPC and SPCA, whether it be in New York or Melville, SPCA, and New York, SPCA, I knew to do that. So he's up and around, running and having a wonderful time. He drank quite a bit, y'all. And so I'm still watching him. I put all his food up. Because after if a cat partakes in lime juice, and there's a few other things, you have to let them fast. You cannot feed them for at least up to about 12 to 24 hour period. So he's not going to eat for about 24 hours. No snacks, no nothing. I got worried, the worry wasn't what y'all was like, people like panic. That's not worry. I don't know what that is. That's just some morbid fear because people have been conditioned to be very frightful. Mine was more, do I drive to Flagstaff? Do I bang on veterinarians' doors, wake them up after an hour 45-minute drive with him in the carrying cage? And so I says, you know what? I got the charcoal for his size. A charcoal pill, especially the activated charcoal I make, is very good. So he's up, pop, getting his zoomies on and everything. But I put charcoal in each one of his water containers too. It's very light. You don't want to, just where it's kind of grayish. Well, you know what I mean. And so he wasn't drinking it for the first few hours. But he's been sipping on the water because running around, he's getting a little, So there's no neuronopathy and anything like that. So he's fine. So I was pretty upset with myself because I know that he likes to, wherever I'm at, wherever I put something, or if it smells good, because lime has a very, organic lime oil is very strong. Yeah, so I have to be mindful to put it, if I'm going to have something like that, to make sure I partake in it. And if I go to the bathroom, there's no problem with taking it with me or putting it up at a higher position. Because he does everything that I do, he follows. He likes to, when I'm pouring his water, he likes to come up and sip the water as it's streaming into his container, like as if. And then when I'm drinking, whenever I go to drink something, he wants to run up, put his paw on the mug, on my stomach or on my lap, and am I going to get a drink? So, all right, that's one lesson for the road. All right. So anyway, a lot of y'all know that this is heaven. And this is heaven, right? Heaven as above, as below, not so below. A lot of y'all know that this right here, what does this mean? Water. And what does that mean? With 2 pieces on top, so it's like 3. But this is broken. What does that mean? Mist. All right, that's I Ching. There's a whole slew of them. So I wanted to read the Science of the Sacred Secretion, but before that, Westside shared something I talked about long ago. When I first came back on, I had two YouTube accounts. And the old account I had when it first came up, I don't think anybody was getting paid. I didn't know nothing about it. I had like 4,000, over 4,000, well over 4,000 followers, because I was doing some model building, and the account's not up. I actually got rid of it because I chose not to go on it after I saw how redundantly foolish people carried on, talking about things that they didn't know about, and I wasn't going to argue with people. But I was building models, showing people how to make rocket powder, or showing people how to make hardened papered guns that actually shoot like 22s and 9mm. I'm talking about hardened paper people, yes, that really shoot that stuff. And I've showed y'all some of the parts that I had left over, because I've got rid of those guns. Well, I believe one was stolen, another one I gave away. And I started building a big, giant German, belt fed, and I just got tired. Because, like I said, I like to invent and I like to build things. I like the intricacies. I like to see how things work. So, Westside shared this thing from Neil deGrasse. And when I was on the reservation, I'd fought a lot of Navajos, ignorant. That's why I say I don't care if you're big, swole. I had a history of two-piece in some of them, because a lot of them walk around and they intimidate people with their size, and size don't mean nothing. And also educated people. And I used to make one of the clearest jokes I used to make was about how people's ears were very big. And I said, there's nothing normal about that. Now, yeah, monkeys have small ears, but when you look at them, they have these very sharp lips, these ocular eyes. They groom, they get lice like crazy. And when I was in school, we never had an issue. We never had an issue with lice. No, it was lice outbreaks, and it was always from some pale skins or whatever.
Like Powerball.
All right. And we know that the pale skin scientists are the ones that came and said, oh, we have the rhesus monkey gene. But we don't. We don't. I don't. And I laughed at it and I chuckled. I was like, maybe I should mention it again. And it's not to demean, but when you say the hue of a man, this language, words are spells. Mankind. They are literally elaborating as something other than the fact that a lot of people know now the agenda is to change man and woman. But in order to do that, you have to get rid of its original platform, us. And then you've got to consummate with those, because you see what they did with the Sister Harriet. They murdered her and they chopped her up and used her to make not just cures and stuff, and that are hidden from most people, but also to find out how to destroy us. Can't destroy us. So, and she's not the only one. And then recently, the last 3 years, the oldest, 3 to 5 years, the oldest white chromosome out of a melanated man, not a mongrel or a Mongol, and these people with a fake history by their own people, was out of Georgia. Not Africa. Not any of that nonsense. And I thought it was pretty funny and peculiar at the same time that how can you have people so smart? They've been propped up to be so smart. Like when I listen to these Air Force pilot pale skins who look like they have New Age Japanese and whatever, who go to fly commercial. And I'm sitting here looking at how how's the word? What's the word? How pompous these blokes are. They're nothing but blokes. How pompous they are. And how they carry on. Yeah, when I'm flying. And now the thing is the UFOs or UAPs, right? They're going to keep messing with this. They're going to keep messing with it because they're weak and cowardly. And I said, how do you get a whole bunch of pedophiles and homosexuals, people with hidden agendas so smart that all they can do is in fear and be afraid? They're so powerful and be afraid. Now, they haven't been flying aerosol spraying, which y'all call chemtrails. Chemtrails is the effect after the aerosol spraying, just to let you know. And but they're doing other things. Now we have over 60,000 tons or whatever, pounds or whatever it is, of ammonium nitrate that's out there, which is easy to make bombs with, very easy. You can mix it with flour, sugar. You can make rocket fuel with flour and sugar. I mean, come on. You can still buy stump remover, which has ammonium nitrate in it. I mean, the stuff is not complicated. It's not hard to make charcoal. Sulfur, you know, you can get that. I'm not going to say on here, but do you know where you can get sulfur from? If you cook down the right. This is not complicated stuff, people. Oh, you know how they always say quiet before the storm? So they have the fire, the distraction, chemicals. A lot of us who know about fighting fires, majority of people in the military took some kind of firefighting class, but in the Navy, if you're on shipboard, you always had to keep up your firefighting quals. Identification and this, that, and other, neutralization. If you think because it gets Will Maxwell and all the other distractions, Biden and his son, if you think all the truths coming out is stopping what they're doing, you are completely ludicrous. Now, I've had people from New York all of a sudden reach out, yo, so what do you think? All nervous and panicked. I said, no, man, you're fine where you're at. If you're so smart and you're, from New York, if you're so bad, you already knew that, you should already knew that anything is possible. But now you're panicking because of what you're seeing. Oh, relax, calm your horses. Either you succumb to it or you're going to be fine. But why don't you make a change now? It's not saying that coming over this way is going to be best. We had the opportunity. People cried out and hollered out, but you didn't listen. Maybe that's too late. Maybe that's what they wanted to see. So that way they know where to target. So maybe you need to stay there and learn how to fight. I don't know. I have a story to tell, and I'm not going to tell it because people are hard-headed. Everybody thinks they know everything, and they just run around still following a bunch of knuckleheads and foolish individuals. Neil deGrasse was able to say what he was able to say because he told the truth. I love when he said about Obama being half white. You know, I don't use those terms, but yeah. The reality is, everything laid out before you is a lie. Even Neil deGrasse, who's a 33rd Mason, well, he's already let it be known. You see him in his garb and everything, his little collars and he's one of them high-ranking 33rds, fake fictional characters, sellout, traitor, groomed to be. Just like the science guy, when he was telling everybody the earth was flat, and then he disappeared for 2 years, and he comes back, and then now he's arguing with everybody, and he doesn't even look the same. You can't make this stuff up if you paid attention to it. Well, anyway, I have a lot of thoughts on the stuff that I'm talking about, a lot. And I could do a week's worth of podcasts just talking about all the things in my head that has been discussed, what has been suggested. I had created a bank account. We can all chip in. We could get land. I realized that wasn't going to work because a lot of y'all not even frugal. If y'all are frugal and miss possibility, a lot of y'all are just pathetic. And I will talk smack about you, all of you, male and female. I don't care because you're not getting it. You really think you know everything and you don't know nothing. You know exactly the levels and limits of what you think you know, and you'll run with that because that's what you know. And you will refuse to free yourself from the dichotomy of your foolish endeavors, really believing it's going to work in your favor. Even though some of us reach out to the right people, or we come across them, we become very arrogant in our ignorance against them because we are still ludicrous in our mentality. The science of the sacred secretion. I have some highlights and stuff in here I wanted to read to you. So a lot of y'all remember when I was read, for those who followed, if you went back of you who aren't arrogant, I went back and looked at my readings of Flatlandis. That's why I have these other books, Home Veda, the Home Devita, and all this other Arctic Vedas and all the other stuff, so I can read with that book to better enlighten the next time I read it. But here, I want to read about the 7 chakras. Okay, and this is the science of. I'm not going to do a whole lot of reading this AM. I'm just going to read some certain little excerpts. Let's go right into it. This is the chemical, physiological, and astronomical explanation of eternal alchemy by Loalu, which is Laotian. In the book, it talks about space and planets, and we know that to be fictional. We know they have us looking outside instead of internalizing, so that way we'll have awareness, but we'll cross that. Although there are vast numbers of energy centers, let's turn this down a little more. I know it's a good background. Although there are vast numbers of energy centers and chakras in and around the human form, the 7 main chakras that are aligned central along the spinal cord include, along the spinal cord, 33rd vertebrae, Jacob's ladder, Atlas, what it really means, remember? Christ fluid, cranial, what is the brain, but the universe, the epitome of the internal. Then you have the external, which is always around, that you're not even attuned with. The crown chakra. I should start from the bottom, but we're going to descend for ascension, okay? This chakra vibrates violet. That's the first color you see. For those of you who are meditating, grounding and everything, and you look upon yourself, and you allow yourself to go into this, you could say, a state of purgatory. That means separated from that which exists in the ignorance of the world we live in. You allow yourself to become gray or dark, where you not even focused on your features, but you become this shadow. And what happens is you start seeing this aurora around you. When looking in a mirror in a closed space, you see this light that comes around you and there's no light in the room. I've seen this in the bathroom. I do it. I close the door, I stand in front of the mirror, and I look until I see my figure in the mirror. Because your eyes can pull in whatever little light there is. But the thing is to express the light in you. Powerful, powerful vice and tool. And what happens is you start seeing this dark figure go smaller and smaller, and you see this light around it. And I'm not going to say no more after that. You have to practice it. Anyway, this chakra vibrates violet. It is centered at the top of the head and is associated with spirituality. All right? Source. This energy center acts like a funnel. Remember I told y'all about being outside, looking in the sky or looking at the ground, and I see a funnel go down, or sometimes it goes up, and I see these squigglies come across my eyes, to where my eyes don't even get wet no more. They dry up. And the funnel, it feels like I'm traveling away or I'm traveling in this funnel, and I see nothing else. Then I see all these little dots, and they're moving fast. We call them metachlorine. And they start moving fast, but they're all everywhere. It's not like in one spot and jumping around like some rabbit in the field. It's trillions of them. And the funnel becomes it. And that's deeper meditation. You can get there. You know what you're looking for, so I said what you need to look for. Anyway, transferring and receiving information from the universal energy field. It is linked to the pineal gland and the choroid plexus, the third eye chakra. This is located in the middle of the forehead and is linked to psychic ability. We know y'all know how the brain's made up, right? With the cerebellum and right and left hemisphere. You know what this part is called, right? In the cranium. You know the pineal gland is right about here. So what does it do in the atlas? How does it center itself? When you look at the axles, how does it center itself? When you walk, is your brain in your head with your body not a gyro? See, they don't teach this in school. So let's carry on. And it's linked to the psychic ability. It is connected with the color indigo. The color indigo. You and I are indigo. And controls the pituitary glands and the optic nerves, lymphatic system, people. The pineal gland is so they put heavy metals and they put chemicals in food and stuff, something we should have never let happen to block these things. Those are called blockers. Like cortisol is bad to the body for healing. So we eat with more herbs and spices and stuff like that. And hopefully with teas, small amounts, because too much tea is a bad thing. Too much of anything is a bad thing, to help reinvigorate and to bring things in a better awareness. All right. Right? Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, say I'm wrong. I have no problem with that. You know, I know some of y'all are way into that field and you know everything. So please help me out here. The pineal gland is also linked with this chakra. You know, think about two axles, one this way and this way, right? It's like when you're flying, you're looking at your, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to go down, you want to go up, you want to fly straight. When I learned to fly a Cessna, there was no curvature, it was fly straight. I don't care how far I flew, it had to be straight, unless I wanted to ascend or descend. For all you round earther Jesus freaks. Anyway. By being connected to both the crown and third eye chakra, the pineal holds the potential to transmute energies between the spirit and physical realms of existence. What is the reality of that? What do they speak on as far as the Kundalini, shamans, and dragons? Why are dragons always heard of and never dinosaurs in ancient scripts or texts? When we're talking about the biorhythms of the cycle of life and all that good stuff. Anyway, again, transmute energies between the spirit and physical realms of existence. The throat chakra, very important. Obviously, this blue chakra vibrates within the throat and is responsible for communication. Vibrates frequencies. It is we believe this is words. These are not words. We have been allocated to believe that this means words. This is a frequency, a vibration. But the problem is we've learned to lie that is used against us. You hear those octaves that are octaves? When I speak. So when I speak, you don't even recognize it because you're paying attention to fictional words instead of paying attention to what's literally coming over and allowing yourself to adapt to that. So you have literally been listening to vibrations and frequencies, but you have made, and some of you in ignorance will say, but those are words. That's because you will argue the case, just like in the book where I'm reading, where the young gentleman is speaking to Professor Morris, and he believes the world he came from, that war and death is imminent and required, yet in the Iron Republic, it is not. And so he would argue his ignorance, as many you will, instead of supplementing and subjugating himself to a way of life that has peace and calm, though they're not without capabilities because they know the world outside. There's a difference. Anyway, it is linked with the thyroid gland and carotid plexus. When we withhold and don't speak our truth, this energy center becomes blocked. Manifestation as physical blockages, sore throats, infections, etc. So it's not just mental, because mental is spiritual. Spiritual is the source, and the source is physical. As I said, we are not just bodies. We are walking elements of not just crystals, which we are, and carbon and water, as they always express. We are light. We are literally energy, walking super atomic, beyond atomic batteries. Those are not the vibrations or frequencies you're speaking. Those are the ones you need to be speaking or vibrating or raising your vibrations in to allocate the reality of your truth to supersede, instead of fooling yourself and become that which you were meant to be, not extensionally, but physically and factoidally. That's a word I just made up, but based upon facts. Scare them. But they're already scared, otherwise they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. Besides being perverted, they are locked into their lies as well. Even with a little more information, what I'm doing is I'm giving you just a little tea. I'm not saying these are facts. I'm saying look into it. When we withhold and don't speak our truth, this energy center becomes blocked, manifesting as physical blockages, sore throats, infections, and etc. etc. The heart chakra. This is located in the chest and is associated with giving and love. Giving and love. I've been attempting to reach out to y'all. I don't need you to get rich. I do have a daughter. I was talking to a friend yesterday. You might be on here, and my daughter called talking about, Dad, let me just drop $2 million in your bank account. I was like, have you been money laundering or something? I don't want your fiat. Well, maybe it's beyond that. I've been reaching out to people for 5-6 years to get together and teach them how to do this. And they said they won't listen to you. I was like, you know what? These people are in a world of illusion and delusion, and they think they know everything. I've met some, I've walked with some, I've looked them in their eyes, and I saw them extrapolate on things that made no sense because they're emotionally unstable, they're chemically lobotomized, and they won't accept the reality that they can overcome it because they are stuck in their little fanciful world created by those who have put them in their own concentration camps. And I'm not biting my tongue. Why would I even do that? That's retarded. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing, reaching out to you guys to see if you're, and you play games and you feel some kind of way, and yet you really don't get it. None of you. None of you. Care who you think you are, you don't get it. Anyway, it vibrates green and responds to the thymus gland. Do you know what a thymus is? I'm not saying it because I went pre-med for 6 years. I'm asking you, all right, do you know what a thymus is? It's good to know these things. The thymus gland and cardiac plexus. Do you know where that is? Remember they said putting your hand over your left heart? That had nothing to do with your heart. Your heart is not right here. They were making you ignore the full spectrum of what it truly is because you allow yourself to become weak and fragile. And you become frugal in that belief. As the bridge between the lower and physical chakras and the higher spiritual ones, it is paramount for this chakra to remain open and full, however, and full of life and giving. However, due to the vast levels of trauma in modern society, are you aware that when we become selfish, and I look at those goofy negresses in New York, some little while ago, who were going crazy, tearing up this place that actually makes some of the best fries. And because the lady wanted to, I shared this with some people, for $1.25 for extra sauce, they went and tore the store up. No, it's still open. And the little dumb niggers, New York, they got what they had coming to them. That's how stupid they are. And I'm not saying that to bash them. I'm saying that because they need to know what they are compared to what they can be. However, due to the vast levels of trauma in modern society, this is the chakra most commonly blocked. So, is school a form of trauma? Definitely. To tell a bunch of people who were probably never slaves that your ancestors were slaves, no, you're a slave now. And to tell the people who weren't, to give them a fake status, to make them run around abhorrently with hate and everything else, that's trauma inflicted upon self who cannot elevate, because if they could elevate and they was as smart as they thought, these so-called racists and neo-Nazis and all of them, they would know the truth and they wouldn't exist and be the way they are. They are beyond the lower selves. An experiment, of course. I'm not here to, this is not about that, a topic on that. So we put aside those worthless emotions and feelings. I don't have to extrapolate on that. I already mentioned the fact that, yes, there's something that has happened. Nobody's paid attention, and gene splicing is not new. Far from it. It's older than you and I can even imagine. But there was a reason why they knew to leave us alone, but lately they haven't. Because our people run around in a moxie and a proxy of stupidity, a level of stupidity beyond even my comprehension. The solar plexus. This yellow chakra sits just below the navel and is linked to confidence and power. So whenever you see me, I don't know if y'all see me, whenever I ground, I put my hands. Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is called? It's a cradle. Cradle for what? That's where you can not bind, but allow our energy to consummate itself. So with focus, when you put this part right here at your navel, and this part right between the navel and your lower extremity, that means your sexual organs or whatever you want to call it, that's where you focus. When I always tell people we don't just think with this, we think with our gut as well. People sit there like, this nigga's crazy. Well, when I'm grounding and I'm breathing from my diaphragm, that means raising and expelling. I'm allowing that area to be fluid. Do you know what I mean by being fluid? To exist as it's meant to be. And usually when I get done, guys, I have to run to the bathroom and express myself. I have to let go. That's how powerful it is. Anyway, and is linked to confidence and power. It is also connected to the adrenal glands and celiac plexus. Celiac, C-E-L-I-A-C, plexus, P-L-E-X-U-S, for those who need to go and look it up. Very, very important. Now, the sacral chakra, S-A-C-R-A-L, pay attention, located within the lower abdomen. The orange chakra is responsible for creativity and emotions. Creativity and emotions. It's not up here. When you have a gut feeling, a notion, we've been made to believe we process it here. We don't even use the right hemisphere. Well, I do. I've been working on it, and it's a headache out of this world when you first start. But the left hemisphere, right? We focus, and we don't realize we're focusing with our whole entire brain because we've been made to believe just the left only. But it's nothing to do with this. It's down here. Remember they say pain comes up, and I say no, it don't. When you feel pain on your finger, that's where you feel it at. You register it and you relay it verbally here. What does it do here? It makes this shut down, releases endomorphins, right? An adrenal to fight the pain. And then everything attacks it to repair or to be in adherence. If I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong. I have no problem with that. Because you know some other people, doctors, the sociopaths will come along with their little books of fake knowledge and go, well, this is what it is, and the science, and the brain. Oh, shut up. It's simple. It's very simple. This energy center balances with the hypogastric glands in the sacral plexus. Yes, so it's responsible for creativity and emotions, but this energy center balances energy. You must pay attention to it being part of the source, the life source, the light. Let me get these hats off of this thing because I don't know why I do that. It's just old country boy habit anyway. So anyway, it balances with the hypogastric, okay, glands and the sacral plexus. The last one, the root chakra. Women, you're off balance. Men, you can attain this. And we need our women to be very, very balanced. The final chakra is red and lies at the base of the spine. So what are those 5 bones called again that are fused from childhood that support the ladder, the grounding, right? The rod, 33 vertebrae, Jacob's ladder. Remember I said we're going to descend so we can ascend? Pay attention. The final chakra is red and lies at the base of the spine. It is associated with feeling safe and grounded. It is also part of the pelvic glands and the coccygeal plexus. That's C-O-C-C-Y-G-E-A-L. These energy centers seek natural balance and alignment. If any of them are out of sync, you will know about it through manifested pain and mood. Energetically, the bottom 3 are our lower, egotistic, animal cells that are responsible for keeping us alive. The heart, then, is the bridge between these lower three chakras and the higher three, unsurprisingly. And the higher three are spiritual energy centers. Therefore, if any of these base chakras are blocked, then limited energy will be able to pass along our heart bridge to the higher spiritual one. Let me skip a couple of chapters. I want to read this other thing. DMT, a reality thermostat. Thermostat, people. Hot or cold? Doesn't necessarily have to be hot or cold. Or could it mitigate other factors? Look, I got 7 people. I got 7 people like watching and only 4 likes. It tells you that, like I was stating in earlier, people are ignorant. I want to beat the algorithms, but I have a lot of haters. And why? Because they hate themselves. They have chakras blocked. They're not going to live no more than about another 10, 20 years. Who are you to determine? Because I just know. I said if you come over here playing with me, I've already cast for those who believe in spells and voodoo and hoodoo. That's craziness. It's beyond that. It's beyond the scope of these made-up terms. We'll see how you feel next week. Come over here fucking with me. If you want to waste your time, go somewhere else where nobody's done that and you won't have to worry about being... Because that's the age we're at. Fuck Aquarius and all that other stuff. I want people to feel pain so they cry out for your ignorance, for remaining in the steadfast stupidity and stupor that you exist in. That's called vengeance. So you better get on the right side and stop playing around. It's not my side. It's bigger than that. My side is no side. I'm tired of stupid folk. We do not possess imagination enough to sense what we are missing. What we are missing. How could you know what you're missing if you won't walk on the wild side? Walk and envelop yourself in a level of places that exist that you choose to ignore. Because you don't know. So when somebody comes along, you don't know me worth nothing. So if I come along and I'm saying something that's out of your parameters, and I tell you to go and invest a little time in research and stop being stagnant in your stupidity, I don't care about your emotions or feelings because they're lies, as I've said repeatedly over and over and over, and you choose not to, then fuck you. Stay where you're at. Or elevate and rise to the occasion and become part of the family, the tribe. Become part of that which you've always existed with. Instead of staying in the purgatory of lies and a mission to the places that are depths of a hell created by a liar. The belief in a spirit world is universal across all cultures and ages. So what was the inspiration for this and where is the link? The human body is an amalgamation of trillions of cells. These cells are based on a combination of molecules and can be altered according to the levels of these molecular chemicals, and they are exposed to. For example, when a person is under extreme stress, the body releases more cortisol and adrenaline, and they work against each other. The aftermath of these chemical bombshells is exhaustion. You've seen it in boxing. I boxed, and I remember even in martial arts competitions, all that energy, but cortisol is being released, and what's happening is a blocking effect of my lower chakras. My heart is getting the adrenaline dump, but the cortisol is not allowing the signal to reach up top to mitigate a different change. Unless I've trained and practiced oxygenating myself and calming myself to move and become fluid again. And to focus that energy. So therefore the cortisol won't raise and emit blocking factors. Now that's the reason why I'm reading it too. Is there DMT involved? Let's see. If I'm wrong, say you're wrong, man. But also express to me how I'm wrong. I'd appreciate it. These cells are based on a combination of molecules and can be altered according to levels of these molecular chemicals they are exposed to. For example, when a person is under stress, the body releases more cortisol and adrenaline. The aftermath of these chemical bombshells is exhaustion. And you've seen the first round, it looked like the guy just he gets hit and he goes wobbly. You know, even though he's been training, the adrenaline dump is too fast. The cortisol levels are blocking, so he's got to breathe and get recentered and focused to realize, oh, wait a minute, I've been here before. And stop the cortisol and allow the adrenaline to flow, which leads to a weakened immune system and corresponding sickness. Other hormones and chemicals produced within the body include melatonin and serotonin, the precursors to DMT. So we know that usually in birth and death, they say, well, melatonin, we're full of it, y'all. We're supposed to be able to tap into our DMT all the time. That's the reason why the Ashkenazi Zionist, Nazi, fake, fraud Jews create all these chemicals to poison. And not only that, because we can teach others, no matter the crayon color, fake race, or fake ethnicity, all right? We could teach them. And serotonin, and you know the importance of these, the precursors to DMT. All living things co-evolve together, pay attention, and are built from the same basic molecular structure of amino acids as a result. And in dimethyltryptamine, which is DMT, is a monoamine alkaloid, a molecule found in all plants and animals. The compound is a chemical analog of serotonin and melatonin. That means eating vegetables is the answer. The body chemicals responsible for. I eat bacon, eggs, steak, and all that crap. Don't get it twisted with your religious goofy selves. But our ancestors didn't eat that. I'm only eating it to prove a point. No, actually, I don't really have that, no more of it. I just did it for a period of time to show people again because of people's ignorance. It doesn't matter. No beef and pork and chicken is worse than the other. They're all foul. Retards. The body chemicals responsible for mood, sleep, and rhythms. Rhythms. Are you paying attention? Rhythms, people. So they got to come up with A440, 808, repeaters, 5G. Told you in 1987 they had a test on us. Naval Air Station Cecil Field in the Navy. Nobody wanted to listen. Has nothing to do with no goddamn internet. And some of you are learning that now because you've downloaded ElectroSmart and you purchased something maybe that can read radiation. Only those people that think they're real smart and eclectic run around, oh, 5G is real, because they're the idiots who should not be listened to no more. Look at the size of their ears, maybe. Or they act very effeminate. Sleep and rhythms. They removed all the bells of old that can cause these things not to hide. Harmony, they took our grandest from here, our grandest organ, and took it over to the screwy ass England, Belgium, or the Vatican, whatever. Over 7.6 million sounds. Nobody said anything until I told you we didn't wear deodorant because the lymphatic systems weren't cut off and polluted. We showed these bastards how to clean and everything because they were nasty, funky, eating human flesh and everything else. Who else created the book, The Delectable Negro? Think about it, people. Stop being so stupid. Anyway, all of which are produced by the pineal gland. DMT or dimethyltryptamine influences are based on how the molecule affects the body's serotonin receptor sites. Based on years of extensive research, John Chavez, one of these guys, you go see bibliography if you have it, if you want to, or look it up, has concluded that DMT and serotonin are equals within the body, which is why it can share receptor sites. They can share receptor sites. So what they want you to believe only in birth and death. That's what they want you to believe. I'm telling you, you can tap into it because serotonin helps you sleep, right? It helps you with your moods, right? When you're in the sun, what's the benefit of walking? What is the calming effect? What is the deep oxygenation? Why are they so busy poisoning the air? Messing with the water and the minerals. You're allowing it. You are literally allowing your own decapitation. See, we have people that come and they leave because they think they know everything. Trust me, none of y'all know what I know. None of you do. And I don't have to prove it no more because enough people know it. I'm so blindly hopeful for hopeless people. Man and woman. It's like some sad romantic story I've involved myself in. No hope with y'all. No hope. New York. Shut up, you goofies. Go listen to Dame Dash and all them faggot niggas. We Indian. Okay, you haven't saw shit. So did they really create the Kango? No, England did not. See how I just did that? Did you see what I just did? Are you even paying attention to the slightest and the slimmest of things? Did you even pay attention to what I just did? No, seriously. I bet none of you can expatiate or expand on what I just did. None of you can. I'm not here to prove nothing to myself. I'm attempting to prove myself that y'all are waking up. Not some woke shit. You see what the Indian Motorcycle Club just did, where the people, they just went woke. They're doing that because the people that own these companies have been bought and paid for from the beginning. They're getting rid of this so they can go into their bunkers, go into the mountains and everything else. Y'all don't even get it, do you? We could have been on Trauma's land. We could have been down there. We could have been dug underground, went into some caves, dug up in there, been working. Out of everybody's eyesight, they wouldn't have been paying no attention. But you stupid motherfuckers. You can't give a few dollars. I don't even care if you give it now or not. You've got about 1.5 years, motherfuckers. Facts. For those of you who will be here. I'm pretty much done. No, we survived in them before, and we went through worse than what's coming. Love you, Snoo. But just let me talk. Let me frequency, y'all. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, and we'll be back in about 2 hours. Got to get my meal together. I have my sea moss, and I'm drinking my cinnamon, lemon, ginger, pineapple, coconut water. I'm going to take one vitamin B and one, these are plant-based, literally plant-based. Vitamin C, really plant-based. My friend pressed these. See that? And this, what is it? Vitamin C, rose, dandelion, I forget the plants, but like the thing I got, he grinds them up and everything. Well, his wife and him. So, want to go outside and walk. Thanks for the donations yesterday. It was $25. I think I already sent y'all a little gratuity and a little love. I love you guys. Shout out to everybody who came in. Appreciate you. Prondo, Ganja Waterman. Trauma, what's going on, beloved? Margarita Adams. Hey. Oh no, Margarita. No, some of y'all are working. I'm just going to talk shit because there's other people, you know. Alicia Cooper. Y'all never take it personal, but take it personal. When I say everybody, I got to include everybody. It doesn't matter. You know where you stand. You should know where you don't, okay? I hate to have to say that, but I want y'all to be bigger. Let's stop being woke. That's CIA created that goofy shit. All the underground military extra government. All right? We awake. You know what I mean? Number love. But I figured some of y'all might need to hear that. All right? West Side, what's going on, beloved? Snoo, you know. Hey, girl. Herbo. We're going to stop being thin-skinned, right? We're going to start thinking with our ass as well. Please, I hope. That your ass, your mind will follow. You ever understand that? Good, healthy gut? Just saying. You don't have to take your power back. You always had it. You need to elevate it. All right? Oh, what's going on? I hope you go back and watch. We're going to stay at 55. We're going to stay under an hour. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. In about 2 hours, we'll be back. I'm going to go out and decide to get a walk on. Much love and respect to everybody. See y'all shortly.